Welcome to A Double
and
Dice
with your hosts Kim
and Jocelyn.
Pour your favorite beverage.
Pull up a comfy chair.
As we are ready to roll.
Welcome to episode 17 of A Double and Dice, and today we're talking about theme this, format that. So we're going to talk about a whole bunch of themes and formats that you can create or have in your local events, or these days, I guess, online events, tournaments, or any other events that you're going to be held for Dice Masters. We have some ideas that we're going to throw out at you. Some spoilers and more, I guess, right, Jocelyn? Lots to talk about today?
Lots to talk about today. Always lots to talk about with you, Kim.
Oh, yes. Lots to talk about. So let's talk about, how about some prior formats that we've seen before?
Sure.
Main high-end ones, I guess, that are popular.
Yeah, so we thought we would sort of preface this thinking, okay, Online Worlds is coming up. So if you haven't heard about it yet, the CRGR group are putting on an Online Worlds event at the weekend that Worlds would have been held in Memphis. So if you were not familiar with that, it's October 9th, 10th, and 11th. It is 3 days because they're not just holding a regular Worlds type modern event, but they're also going to be holding some side events. So we thought we'd talk about the side events that we've seen at past Worlds, such as last year, and talk about those formats and what we think of them, and what we might see as side events as part of this Worlds event that they're putting together, because that stuff has not been announced yet as time of recording.
Yeah, we haven't seen it yet. Yeah, there's 3 side events, I believe that's happening.
I believe they're planning for 3 side events. We don't know exactly what those will be yet. One will be on Friday. I know that. One will be on Sunday. I don't know when the third one's going to be. I
think it's Sunday. I think one's in the morning and one's in the late evening or late afternoon.
So for more info on that, just head over to the crgr.rocks website, and they'll have some stuff there, or you can check out Discord, and there'll be all kinds of stuff, I'm sure, announcing that and formats and things like that. They also have their weekly Twitch stream on Wednesday nights on twitch.tv, where they go live and talk about what's going on. So I'm sure that this coming Wednesday they'll be talking about some more stuff that have to do with the Worlds event. So last year, when I went to Worlds, I played in all of the side events that were held. So there was Global Escalation, there was 10 and 10, and then there was Pauper, and then there was also drafts. So just in the, like you said, Kim, there in the intro, thinking about, how do you, run events, or how do you keep things fresh when you're doing a lot of online play. These are some good events to talk about. So which one do you want to start with?
Let's do Pauper.
Okay.
That sounds funny.
All right. So how familiar are you with the Pauper format?
What is Pauper again? You know what? Actually, is that the one that you have only common cards on your team?
Yeah. So what was interesting about Pauper in 2019 was they included, so it was a weird, if you're not 100% familiar with the previous rotation, there was a bunch of sets that were collectible, but some of them didn't have basic actions included. So for example, was it X-Men First Class didn't have basic actions. So if you included only sets that had basic actions, you only had Thor and Tomb of Annihilation. So you only had 2 sets that had basic actions. So what they said was, okay, you can use any modern card that is a common card, so it has a gray stripe, for your team. But for basic actions, you can include any basic action from any of the current modern sets, so including the ones from the campaign boxes. So whatever was out at that time, which I think included Warhammer, Infinity Gauntlet, the Harley Quinn team pack.
You mean not Infinity Gauntlet?
not Infinity Gauntlet, Avengers Infinity.
There you go.
That's the one. I think we had Justice, like all of that stuff. So you could use any basic actions that were modern, essentially, as well as just the common cards. So that was the Pauper format in 2019. So if you fast forward to current state with the current modern rotation that we have, almost everything except for Avengers Infinity Gauntlet is collectible, and there's tons of basic actions to choose from. Is non-collectible, and there's tons of basic actions to choose from, except for Infinity Gauntlet, right?
Mm-hmm.
So rarity now is a lot different than it was when you did Pauper last year. So technically, I mean, you could consider anything in the campaign boxes or team packs to be common because everyone has them.
And they're gray striped.
And they're all gray striped. Actually, WWE has a different color stripe, doesn't it?
Does it really? I never noticed.
I think so. I'm going to look right now while you're talking.
Yeah, I was going to ask, last year when you did the Pauper event, campaign boxes and team packs were included, right? Or was it?
No, they were not.
Oh, they were not. Okay, so...
No, aside from the basic actions.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
No, the WWE cards do have a gray stripe.
Oh, okay. So this year, there's a lot of product. So the question is, if they do Pauper, would they include campaign boxes and team packs?
Well, I think if you didn't include campaign boxes and team packs, then all you would have is common cards from Infinity Gauntlet.
That's true.
So I feel like you kind of have to.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say that there's probably going to have to be some bans in this format.
Yeah, this is a lot of strong cards that are commons from those sets, like the campaign boxes and team packs.
Well, Becky Lynch, anyone. Becky Lynch.
God catch that one.
Right?
Yeah.
Those are pretty strong cards, and those are probably what you're going to see in the modern event, so you probably don't want to see that if you're playing in a side event. Right?
Yeah, it'll be interesting, because if you do a Pauper event this year at Worlds as a side event, it's almost like you're playing the main event, because it's going to be a meta team you're probably going to bring. Right? Most likely.
Yeah. So
it'll be a big difference from last year to this year.
Yeah, I think that you'd want to eliminate those two cards for sure, or those two, not just those two cards, but those two, all versions of those two cards.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, so the biggest difference there between last year and this year is, well, there's a lot more to choose from, but yeah, the meta is pretty up there with those common cards.
Yeah. So that's a little different. That's if I was in charge of the Pauper format, which, full disclaimer, I am not. I would say those cards need to be banned.
Mm-hmm.
But then you could include all versions of the cards from the campaign boxes and team packs, and only eliminate those cards that are strong. You have tons to choose from, but you wouldn't have, uncommon, rare, or super rare cards from Infinity Gauntlet. So there would still be some stuff that's not available.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a fun format.
Yeah, I don't know if I think I've ever played Pauper once, maybe in, I want to say, Weekly Dice Arena. Or was it Team of the Month? No, I'm pretty sure it was Weekly Dice Arena. I've only ever played it once.
We should put some teams together with our official rules here that we just created for nobody and make a Pauper team, Kim.
Sounds like fun to me.
Good stuff.
Let's do it.
Which one should we do next?
10 by 10.
Okay.
Let's see. Remember 10 by 10. That is each card on your team has to be from a different set.
Correct. So, rulings for 2019 Worlds was that team packs were considered to be individual sets. So, for example, you have Avengers Infinity, and then you have the Kree Invasion team pack and the Thunderbolts team pack. Is it called Thunderbolts? I don't remember what it's called now. You know the one.
Justice Lightning, Justice Lightning.
Justice Lightning.
There you go.
So you had those. So all three of those were individual sets. So
that would make sense. Yeah.
Team pack was a set. Each campaign box was a set. Each collectible was a set. and you could only use one card from each set on your team, and that included your basic actions, right? Hence the name of 10 and 10 cards, 10 sets. I think it was cool. I like that format. I know some people don't like that format because they feel like sometimes there's a lot of synergy in set, and if you pick, this card out of whatever set, and then you want to play the card that goes with it, you can't because it's from the same set. I found that because of the concept of the team packs and the campaign boxes coming together as individual sets, that was less of a problem. Mm-hmm. I also think it made it a little bit easier to find some of those synergies. So if I was going to rule it, I would say, okay, Kree Invasion, Justice League Lightning, and Avengers Infinity, one set. Warhammer 40k, Orcs, Wa, and Space Wolves, one set.
That would make it a little harder, wouldn't it?
That's the whole point.
Yeah, I guess you could be a little bit more creative with that.
It's about being creative. So restricting the set numbers, I think, would help with that, and I think putting the team packs with the associated campaign box would help with that. And then again, remember that includes basic actions. So if you want to choose, a basic action from Infinity Gauntlet, because you really want to play Focus or whatever. That's not a good example. You really want to play Anger Issues, which gives your dice +3A and Overcrush and has a fist buff on it as a global ability. You really want to play Anger Issues. Well, you know what that means? There's no rare Spider-Man. There's no super rare Thor. There's no uncommon Angela. All of those things just go out the window because you said you wanted to play Anger Issues. So you have to make some hard choices. I think it's fun.
Yeah, it forces people to be creative. And come up with janky teams or interesting teams that we didn't think would work, and look at that, it works.
Yeah. I really want to play Walk with Elias because I like that global. Well, I guess I'm not playing Becky Lynch.
Everybody will pick Becky Lynch. Or God, Becky Lynch, yeah.
So, I think similar to Popper, again, you could say potentially ban Becky, ban Godcatcher from that format. Just to keep things interesting, because you're going to see Becky and Godcatcher in the main event.
Yes, for sure. Right. Main event, people are going to want to win, right? So.
Well, some people. So that, again, that's what I would do with 10 and 10. What do you think, Kim?
I like it. Anything that forces someone to think differently, off the meta, be creative, recognize cards that you probably wouldn't have noticed. Those are teams that I like.
Yeah. Cool. Let's go to my least favorite of said.
So why don't we just go to draft first then?
All right. So draft, there was 3 different ways you could draft at Worlds last year. Of course, we were in person, so we had physical product. We had draft packs of Thor. We had draft packs of Tomb of Annihilation. And then if you were lucky in your drafts and you got a raffle ticket, so when you draft, anyone who did a draft got a raffle ticket. And they drew the raffle tickets, and you were able to get into the preview draft, which gave you the opportunity to draft the upcoming set, which at the time was Infinity Gauntlet, which we now finally have in our hands in North America. And our friends in Europe will hopefully be getting it soon, fingers crossed. And across the world, not just Europe, but across the world. So we got to draft that. So I don't think you could really recreate that because, no one has it. No one knows what it is. There's no access to it. Mm-hmm. But there is Truby's Draft Pack Generator on the Dice Coalition. Yep. So I think there is a way to do that, and I would probably suggest, just from ease of proxies and things like that, would be to do something like we did in the Weekly Dice Arena a bunch of weeks ago when Ross was away and Stephen DMArmada jumped in, and we did a draft of the X-Men Forever campaign box and associated team packs. So you can go in, you can get a number of people, you can actually do a physical draft, and then go grab your product and play your team.
Didn't you do Guardians of the Galaxy?
Not last year. I did a Guardians draft at 2018 Canadian Nationals. Yeah, it was just draft packs at Worlds.
I think the only downside to doing drafts, because of our world situation this year, is not everybody would own the card they draft, and you would have to force proxies. Again, people will put, writing a piece of paper, if that's even legal to do, but they might not also have the dice. So I think that restricts a lot of people.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking that something like a campaign box and team packs might be a good way to go.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you have the campaign box and the team packs, then you have everything you need. Right?
So, Judge Jocelyn.
Yes.
You would ban anything that's not a campaign box or team pack. Pretty much, if you were doing a draft.
Yeah, I would. I would ban all of Infinity Gauntlet. Because it's really hard, right? Especially in a limited time. So if you're doing an online event, and then you have to go and find all of this stuff that you drafted, and if you don't have it, then you have to proxy it by writing it on a piece of paper or something like that. That's going to take a lot of time. And these events, it's a lot of time in front of your computer, and you're still at home with your family. And if you're Canadian, like you and I and the rest of the DM-North.com group, it's Thanksgiving weekend. So there are family events, hopefully, if the state of the world will permit it. And if not, there'll be Zoom calls and other things to do to celebrate with your family. So yeah, I would say do it in what I would consider the easiest way is pick a campaign box and some team packs. You could do separate pods, for example. You could do pods of 4 and set up, okay, this pod you're going to do X-Men, this pod is Warhammer, whatever the case may be. Set up the draft rooms and off you go.
That makes sense.
So, and that way you could draft what you're interested in or play what you're interested in. I was talking to Rob. He played in a dice fight recently that DM United put on, and they did a D&D only night. So, and he played someone there. I'm sorry, I don't remember the person's name. He told me, but I've forgotten. And that person really only likes D&D Dice Masters. So that's an opportunity for that person. If they have the Trouble in Waterdeep and Adventures in Waterdeep and the Zentarium team packs, just jump in and say, I want to be part of the D&D draft. As long as you got 4 people, you're good to go.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So that would be how I would run a draft in an online environment.
Now, last but not least, your favorite?
Oof.
Global Escalation. So, I've actually never played this format, but Global Escalation is global has to be on every card on your team?
No. So,
no. Oh, see, I was wrong.
Okay, you're close. So, Global Escalation is in a WizKids official format that includes all of the cards ever printed, unless they were on the winning team of certain specific events, particularly U.S. Nationals, sometimes Canadian Nationals, and Worlds events. If those cards were on the winning team of that event, they were banned unless they had a global. Now, there is a lot of gross stuff in Golden.
Mm-hmm.
And when you start adding in more modern stuff, where we've started to see some power creep, there's a lot of gross stuff. And a lot of the control cards have been banned because most often control cards don't have globals on them. So they're no longer viable for the format. And essentially it just becomes a lot of what we call, what's the phrase I heard? Turn 3 filth. And, some of those globals are super strong and they've been reprinted in Modern in a more balanced way. So think of original Professor X Global, right? Which you could do as many times as you had masks and as many times as you had sidekicks. You could pay a mask to prep 2 sidekicks. And you can do that on your turn and your opponent's turn as many times as you want until you run out of sidekicks or masks. The new version of that, which we've seen on Walk with Elias, we've seen it on Professor X from the X-Men Forever campaign box, which is once per turn on your turn, you may prep up to 2 sidekicks from your use pal. So more balanced, you can only do it once. But in Global Escalation, you pull out that original PXG and you prep all the sidekicks you want. Prep them all. Go for it. It's good to go. So a lot of that stuff is gone. And therefore, it does become very much a race. And if that's the type of Dice Masters you like, where you want to win fast and hard and on turn 3, all the power to you. There are a couple of cards that have been banned in the Global Escalation format, which I do not have in front of me right now. But after last year's Worlds event and some of the feedback that WizKids received, they did put a few cards that were in Global Escalation, so cards that had globals on them, on the Global Escalation ban list.
So you can build any team you like, Golden.
Mm-hmm.
And even though the card is banned, if it has a global on it, you can use it.
That's right. So there isn't a WizKids official ban list for this, which you can find on the WizKids rules forum. So if the card did not have a global and it won an event, it's banned, it's out, it's gone. If it had a global, it's not on the ban list, with the exception of a couple of cards that have recently been banned, which I believe one of them is a Yu-Gi-Oh card. I think it's called Doom Caliber Knight. So that one has a global and that's been banned. I'm not sure what else there is. I can't remember off the top of my head, but there's a couple. And I'll try and find this and link it in the show notes if you're not familiar with it so you can look it up. If you love Global Escalation, send us an email and tell me why. If you're like me and think this is not the format for you, I'd love to hear why you think that too.
I've never played it, but it sounds like a lot of work because I really don't want to go look on a piece of...
a huge ban list?
A ban list, going through that to figure out if I can make even a team that I want. Or I make a team and I got to go look on a list to see if my card is banned. It just sounds like a lot of work.
Well, to that note, we do have the Dice Coalition website, which has the Dice Coalition Team Builder, which if you're not familiar with that, you have, it's tb.dicecoalition.com, TB meaning for Team Builder. Now, Truby, who's put this together, has a number of formats that has been put into this Team Builder. A lot of work has gone into it. So Golden, which is everything, Modern, which is the current Modern era, Global Escalation is here. So you can filter by stuff that's banned and only see what's available. And then in support of 2 main events that have been happening over the last little while, there's the 2-team Takedown Legacy that's run by CRGR and the Dice Fight Legacy that's run by the DM United group. So those legacy formats are on here and any banned cards have been removed. So you can go to Dice Coalition. You can filter on Global Escalation. So just as a, let's look at this. So there are 3,615 cards in the Dice Coalition Team Builder. Global Escalation, 3,545 cards.
So still a lot.
So basically, the Global Escalation format is Golden less like less than 90 cards. Jocelyn can't do math. Someone who can do math or has a calculator. 3610 minus 3545. That's like almost nothing. Almost nothing is banned in this format.
True. Yeah.
3610 minus 3545. 65 cards.
That's not much.
Yeah. So.
And that's up to date. Like, are we
this is up to date?
Okay.
I'm gonna say, assuming it is up to date, because Truby's been pretty good about that. The Doom Caliber Knight here, there is 2 of them listed, but 1 is not. So that's possibly because that's the one that's been banned, but I'm not sure because I don't know which rarity it was. Anyway, long story short, if you want to play Golden without control cards, essentially you want to play Global Escalation.
Yeah. And if
The only
anybody knows
control
about me.
cards- The only control cards that are available in that format are anything that's been newly released. So anything, for example, from Infinity Gauntlet would still be in because it hasn't won an official major WizKids event.
So, not a format for me because I hate dying in turn 3.
To each their own.
Yeah. So, if there's plans for global escalations, I think you have 2 thumbs down.
I'm not saying, you know what? I think it's for people that like it, and there's people that like it. There's people that love it. And you know what? All the power to you. It's just not my type of Dice Masters.
Yeah. I want to play a game, not play 5 minutes of a game. Like, I want to actually have fun playing a game back and forth. Good fun. Not, oh, well, I'm dead. So, yeah.
Because of the weekend that this event is being held on, the Online Worlds event, I do not expect to be able to participate in any of the events. I'm not planning on it. But if I was, I would probably play in side events, something like a Popper or a 10-10 or a draft, as opposed to doing a global escalation or even the main modern event. Mm-hmm. That's just where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
But like I said, I've got other things going on that weekend, so I will not be there.
I'm trying. I'm still up in the air. Friday I know for sure, but I don't know.
Best of luck to anyone who is playing and participating, and big thanks to all of those that are going to be putting these events on, because we all know it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about some fun stuff.
Yeah. Some other ideas or formats or themes that we've been mulling over or thinking over, I guess. If anybody's ever having a tough time thinking about something, or even if you're having a tough time thinking about a side event, maybe something might pop up.
Maybe something a little bit more unique or different than these formats we've just talked about.
Mm-hmm. One be green, which is kind of like Popper, but it's on commons only.
It's not easy being green.
So that's a suggestion. So you've tried common, so what about uncommon?
So if you were going to run that as a current event right now, Kim, would it just be Infinity Gauntlet uncommons, or would you open it up to golden?
You probably would have to open it up to golden, I think. I don't think you could just do the one set. Because we have a lot of team packs and campaign boxes this year which do not have uncommons in them. Oh. And Tomb and all that was last year, right? So
it's all golden now.
I would have to say you have to go golden with this. I don't think you could restrict it to just Infinity Gauntlet.
But maybe by this time next year, when hopefully we have some more sets.
Yeah, because we're going to get more draft packs out and stuff like that. So
I heard.
So we hope. I think then once you have more of those out, then yes, I think then you can restrict it. But right now, if you're thinking in the next 2 weeks or something, you have to make it golden.
Yeah. Yeah, otherwise you might as well just run like a single set
draft
event
or something, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Say, okay, you can only build out of Infinity Gauntlet, because that's basically where all the uncommons came from.
5-0. I have these weird, funny names for these things. So only 5 cards on your team. Each card has a different rarity.
Okay.
So you can have 5 of your main, and back's not included. Like, that's excluded to be anything you want. So that consists of common, uncommon, rare, super rare, and blue stripe, which is promo. Or you can do 4, and your basic action is 1, and that's considered your common, and then you have uncommon, rare, super rare, and promo as your main 4.
Interesting. So how is this different from that Team of the Month thing that we put on previously? What was it called? 5x5?
Yeah, I can't remember what that one was about. We have to look that one up. I can't remember what the 5x5 was.
I am pulling up our research on said event, Kim.
While she's pulling up, another one I had on here was blue stripe. So that one's pretty straightforward. Everything on your team, or all cards on your team, has to have a blue stripe on it. And blue stripes right now are promo cards. Again, that one has to be probably golden, because I think modern there isn't much at the moment since the rotation. Backs, again, doesn't have to be a promo. It can be anything, I think. I think it's going to be hard to restrict that. But the only downside to, I think, the promos only is not everybody has it, so you would probably have to proxy.
Yeah.
And same with the dice as well.
So 5x5
Yes.
is 5 cards on your team, and all of them have to be a 5 cost, excluding your backs.
Okay, so there's the difference.
Or-
This one's based on rarity.
Or bads.
Inside joke if nobody knows about that.
If you have not currently seen the Dicemasters North Twitch stream, trivia Twitch stream from a couple of weeks ago, by the time this comes out, head over to twitch.tv/Dicemasters North and check out the videos on demand, or over to our YouTube channel and check out our Q trivia night, and you will be pleasantly surprised and will understand what a bad is. So that was the format 5x5.
Okay.
Yeah. They also made a different. This particular format 5x5 had a different rule on your sidekicks. So you roll 5 dice each turn. So you draw and roll 5 sidekicks instead of 4, unless you're the first player and you roll 4.
Yeah, because they're all 5 costs, right? So
Yeah.
hard to get to. Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of the stuff that discounts things
Or less than
are
5.
not 5 costs. So that could be an interesting one to run as well. 5x5. I like the idea of building smaller teams. I think that's kind of cool.
Now this one, just based on Halloween, I guess, going on Halloween theme of spookiness, black and orange dice only.
No comment.
Maybe half your team's black, the other half is orange, or mix and match. We won't
believe I
say
am
why
on
we're saying
record.
no comment, but
I believe I am on record as objecting to all color themes.
yes, I know.
So that's just my personal opinion. If you're into color themes, go at it. I know, Kim, to your point, you said it's hard to. You think it would be hard for people to mess up black and orange.
Orange, yeah.
I would say some people do have trouble with color. The other thing with the color themes that I tend to see is that, first off, the dice themselves don't always match what's on the card. So if you're looking at cards when you're making your color theme, then you pull up the dice, they might not match. They might not be exactly the same. They might look more red or more orange than you were expecting them to. There's always the shades of conversation. Well, gray is a shade of black.
Boy. Isn't it black? No.
So I would say proceed with caution with color
Yeah.
themes.
Yeah.
And, be generous with your fellow team members, fellow players.
That's a whole different conversation about dice colors. So we'll move on.
I like this next one, Kim. Up, up, and away.
There you go. Up, up, and away. Only characters that can fly. Again, you have to do this golden. You can't do this modern.
Why not?
Is there enough modern flying people?
Sure. We have a lot of sets in modern now.
So yeah, I guess you can go either or. That would have to do some little research to make sure you have enough for modern, but
let's look at it.
how is
If I go to tb.com or tb.dicecoalition.com,
Yep.
and I go onto modern. So hang on, let me go. So we would have.
Wait, is there Superman? Yes, there is, right?
Harley Quinn, Justice, Doom, Mystics, Trouble in Waterdeep, Adventures in Waterdeep, the Zentarium. Some of those people in D&D have to fly, right? There's like wizards and stuff.
All right, D&D people, get on us and let us know who can fly.
Orcs and Space Wolves and whatever, Battle for Ultramar. Some of those things have machines. Machines fly sometimes. There's got to be flying things. It would probably eliminate all of the WWE stuff, which we cannot object to.
No.
Right? That's a good thing.
If someone's argued that Becky can fly, that's another side conversation.
You've got Avengers Infinity, Kree Invasion, Justice League Lightning, X-Men Forever, Dark X-Men. You've got Infinity Gauntlet. Like, there's a lot of stuff to choose from. I'm sure there's enough flyers in Modern.
Yeah, someone could build a Vision team, because I'm looking at the box right now and I see Vision at the side of the box.
I'm missing another set here somewhere. What was the other team pack that came with X-Men Forever, Dark X-Men, and something?
I can't remember what came with X-Men.
Oh, Justice League Lightning. That was what I missed.
Ah.
X-Men Forever, Dark X-Men, Justice League Lightning, Kree Evasion. There's lots of stuff. There's I'm sure you could probably find enough modern ones. It'd probably be easier if you did golden, but again, let's make it a little trickier. I like that.
I know you don't like golden too much, so.
Well,
neither me, but
golden means that everything is fair game, except for whatever you've decided to ban. So I can still build it all modern. There's nothing stopping me from doing that.
That's true. Yeah.
So I like that one. I do have a theme that Rob came up with, that he and I talked about, that we talked about doing at some point, which was go to the comic store and go to the dollar bin and randomly pull out a comic and build a team that includes the characters in that comic.
That's an interesting one. I like that idea.
You go to like the dollar bin or the 50-cent bin, you buy a cheap comic, and if you're buying something from Marvel or DC in particular, then you're probably going to have enough characters to build something with.
Or if you already own a comic, maybe people can't get to a comic store or whatnot.
Go online to your online comic stuff, Comixology or...
That's interesting.
Whatever.
It's definitely an interesting one. Alright. That would probably maybe have to be golden. It depends what the characters are.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. Or what you get. High rollers. No characters with a cost less than 4.
So 4 and higher? That's cool.
A little challenging maybe to get to.
I've heard of the opposite of that. Sometimes I've heard the Ministry of Dice folks refer to it as Weenie Wars. So all your dice are 3 or less.
Okay. Or like small or little or something like that, yeah. Yeah, that's another option. Opposite. That actually might be a fun one too.
There's a
Lots
lot
of good 2s out there.
There's a lot of good 2 and 3 cost characters. They just maybe don't have good fielding costs.
Yeah. Yeah. It's true. Last on my list, I think quite a few people have probably played this one before. The Chaos one. Where you roll a d20 and you just look on your sheet, and what number it comes up with is what you need to do for that turn, I believe, that you're on. You roll it first and do what it does for your turn.
Yep. That's a lot of fun. I think it's easier to do in person than online. I believe that there was an attempt to do this online with a weekly dice arena at one point last year.
I guess I got that.
But I think what they did, and I think Matt was involved with that, was they changed the rule like every 5 minutes.
Yes.
So, online that might be something to do, like a ticking time bomb.
Yeah, but I find that's tougher because I remember playing in that, and I always had to look at the screen to see what it changed, and then tell your opponent, oh, it changed, and then so it was kind of it was chaos. But if everyone has the same sheet with the same numbers with the same what you have to do, then it's you can just have it up, right? And doing it. But I think that might be fun and definitely steer your team in a totally different direction.
Definitely.
So you could build a Becky team, you could build a Godcatcher team, but you don't know what's going to happen.
Roll any number between 1 and 20. If you have Becky or Godcatcher on your team, you lose.
Game over. There's your kill one.
Turn 1 kill. You haven't even rolled any
I
dice.
win.
So, I mean, themes are hard,
Mhm.
right? They're hard to come up with. Kim comes up with a lot of great themes for our local group, and I know there's a lot of effort that goes into that. I also know lots of other people have talked about themes, and there's articles on the interwebs and on various websites, so I'd encourage you to check those out, or videos of types of themes. If you have a theme that you haven't heard talked about or you'd like to try, let us know. Send us an email or drop us a line, and we'd love to chat about that, because it is fun to do things a little bit off the main competitive meta. And there's been a lot of that sort of online competitive meta stuff going on lately with Earth X Origins, and then Dice Fight XL, and then MOD, PDM, UKGE, and then recently Roll for the North, and then upcoming we have Worlds. There's still lots of other fun themes out there. There's Weekly Dice Arena and Dice Fight every week. It's always fun to get out and roll some dice and play some stuff that you're not familiar with.
Yep. I think that's, in my opinion, should be geared with side events. You have your main event. That's where the competition is. But side events need to be, I think, a little bit more relaxed, fun. See what people can come up with creativity-wise. It's not like you want to see a Becky and a Becky and a Becky and a Becky. Or God catcher, right? So.
Or super rare Thor, super rare Thor, super rare Thor.
Yep. But, so we'll see. We'll see what people come up with for those side events in the Worlds.
And if you are available on that weekend, we're told there will be events available for all different time zones. So regardless of whether you're in North America or Europe or elsewhere, there should be an event for you. And check that out. More information to follow. And if we hear more, we'll certainly bring it out on the podcast.
A little bit about some spoilers that we've been maybe hearing, seeing, doing ourselves. Do you want to talk about, let's say, the trivia that happened? Was it a week ago? 2 weeks ago?
So at time of recording, it was exactly 6 days ago. Or 7 days. When I found out about said spoilers, and Kim was off doing other things and did not attend our strategy session. But yeah.
Hey, then I got to participate in the trivia because I had no idea what the questions were.
Yeah, because Matt and I put all the work in.
Yeah, I just showed up and talked on the Twitch stream.
No, it's all good. We're just teasing you, Kim. No, it was a week ago at the time of recording that Matt was able to receive a special package from WizKids, which included some spoilers of cards that are coming up. And what type of cards are those, Kim?
Promo cards, from Organized Play.
Yep, they're OP kit cards. And if you have not checked this out yet, we won't go into detail here, but we would encourage you to check out the Twitch stream and or the YouTube video. It's been posted there as well, which is the Dicemasters trivia that we did. Because, spoiler alert, the trivia was a big, massive ruse for us to just spoil these cards. So we spoiled these cards. It was a fun night. The video is about 40 minutes long. If you want to get involved in that and enjoy that, either through the Twitch or the YouTube. And then following the trivia stream, we did post an article on dm-north.com that included pictures and a little bit of commentary about the cards. So I will give you the high-level points. 3 cards were provided to us to spoil. They're all blue stripe promo cards. We do not have any information on when these cards are coming out or what kit they're called or what they're associated with. What we do know is that the cards are labeled 2, 4, and 6 as far as collector numbers go. So M2020 for the collector, Marvel 2020, and then 2, 4, and 6. Now, typically in past OP kits, we have seen 3 cards. There's usually 2 new unique cards for existing dice, and 1 that is an alt art reprint of a different card. So all 3 of these were new cards. 1 was a basic action, and 2 were characters that came from Infinity Gauntlet. So that was of interest. The basic action was called Slingers. There was a Spider-Man card, which interestingly had a max 6 dice on it and had a recruit ability for sidekicks, and a Typhoid Mary card that had what did she have, Kim? She had
Energize, wasn't it?
Energize,
No.
that's right.
Is it Energize? Yeah.
It was Energize, yeah. Because there is a current Typhoid Mary that already has recruit, and this one had Energize. So for all the details on those cards, we're going to encourage you to go check out those places. So go to dm-north.com to read the article, or check out the YouTube or the Twitch stream. It's available in both places, and check that out. But we had a lot of fun with that trivia stream. It was great to do that. We thank everyone who came and showed up at the last minute to do the trivia and see those cards. And we were just as excited as you are.
And they are not fake.
They are not fake. They are not fake. They are real for reals cards. Yeah. So really excited. And literally all we know at this time, as I said, is they are coming out soon-ish.
Yeah, hopefully.
So, and like we said, we suspect that they are going to be part of 3 different OP kits because of the numbering. Mm-hmm. So yeah, and I'm excited to play with all 3 of them. I think all 3 of them look fun, and I'm looking forward to building something around them.
Yeah, I like playing with the promo cards. Wish there was like more modern ones, because we don't have much right now, right? So
no, there's very little modern promo cards, but that's okay.
It'll be there.
What other type of spoilers have been kicking around?
Dark Phoenix has been kicking around. I believe that comes out. Is there an actual date for it? It's November, right? Usually it's mid-November.
Yeah, so right now the date is November 2020. I would say, based on the number of spoilers we're seeing and the fact that the WizKids store has listed the product for pre-order, would indicate that the date is probably pretty firm. Mm-hmm. So sometime in November we should be getting the Dark Phoenix draft packs.
So again, I don't know much about it, but I haven't really looked at the spoilers myself, but there's tons of videos out there. Discord has a bunch of stuff. My pal True Mix, how can I call him?
There's a great, if you go to BritRollerSix.com, which is Chris Williams from the Ministry of Dice's blog, he has a section for spoilers from unreleased sets, and he's going to be compiling everything there. Cool. And I would say, from a video perspective, if you wanted to see just one spoiler video, go over to DMArmada's channel, and he did a Dicemaster Spoiler. Did you see this one, Kim?
No, I haven't watched it yet.
So he spoiled all 4 rarities of the Mr. Sinister card from the upcoming Dark Phoenix set. And I will tell you that each one of those rarities has a global on it, and each one of those globals is different.
Oh, that's interesting. And
that is all I'll say. There's some pretty cool globals in there, globals that I have imagined having in the team, in the team building bucket. And I think it's really interesting that they're all on the same card, because it does mean you're going to have to make a choice. They're all in the same character. You can't have multiple Mr. Sinisters on your team with the current team building rules, so you have to decide which one of those 4 globals you want on your team.
That's cool. I did see one global out there. Maybe it was Mr. What's his name again? Mr. Sinister. Mm-hmm. I thought it was cool, and to be honest with you, I can't remember what it was or who it's from, but I was like, that's a cool global. So, as I said, I haven't really looked at much of the spoilers. So.
Yeah, I usually wait until the cards come out, or we know for sure they're coming, or they're closer. I like to have the cards in my hand, and even when I read spoilers, I find they don't stick with me. So I usually just wait. But yeah, the Mr. Sinister spoiler video that DMArmada put out, highly recommend it. Go check that out on YouTube. It's not a long video, and I think that you will be very interested in some of those globals.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out. Take a look. Yeah, I'm same as you. I don't really look at the spoilers too much. Maybe I want to be surprised. I don't know. why I don't. But it's just not my thing to do, I guess.
Yeah.
Spoiler. No.
One of the things I loved about this game when I first started playing it was just buying a booster, opening it up, and not knowing what was inside.
Mm-hmm.
So, to me, that's still something I like to do. I like to open these cards and be surprised.
Last but not least, I'm gonna have you say this one because I don't know much information about it, but a solo variant of Dicemasters?
Well, this is the rumor. So today, an anonymous source shared some information, and there's some information on BritRollerSix.com again that you can check out that has been shared with the community from an anonymous source that says that there is going to be a solo variant of Dicemasters coming out in, I'm assuming 2021 at this point. I don't have a lot of information, but it is in a set that is being referred to as Fantastic Four versus Galactus. So that's pretty exciting to have some Fantastic Four Dicemasters.
Hey.
So it says all we have is
A picture.
Marvel Fantastic Four versus Galactus Dicemasters solo play is all we know. That's all that's been listed. That's really interesting. I like playing Dicemasters with people. I'm not really much of a solo gamer, but Kim, I know you got into Dicemasters by playing yourself.
Yeah, that's how I was learning. I do have board games that are solo as well, so I'm definitely interested in it to see how that would play out.
Yeah, and so there was some other information that was popping out as well. Some announcement of potential new sets. No timelines. Looks like some more draft packs potentially coming down the pipe in House of X as a theme, and also in Secret Wars, which are both Marvel themes. So I guess we'll hear more about that in the coming days. Probably by the time this episode releases, there might be more information out about that. But watch the blogosphere, the Facebook, the Discord channels. I'm sure more information will be coming, and probably an official announcement from WizKids, because right now this is all just rumor and innuendo.
Mm-hmm. Now, you did say something interesting when we were talking about this, but the solo variant, that if it can be used to build your team when playing.
Yeah, I don't know. I hope that the cards would still be compatible with regular play, but who knows, right? Something different. So, literally, that's all we've heard.
Dicemasters board game, solo variant.
Yeah. Fantastic Four versus Galactus. So
so that's all the spoilers I think that we've heard or seen. I don't think we missed anything.
At this point, yep, that's all we got.
And last but not least, Miss Jocelyn, what is in our mailbag today?
Well, so we got some mail from the Discord, and our good friend Jackalope Spam, aka Nick, aka New Dad, sent me a message. So if you may recall, a couple episodes ago, we were talking about must have been our Roll for the North teams, or maybe
Probably.
It was MOD PDM at UKGE teams.
No, probably that one, yeah.
Anyway, we were talking about one of our competitive team builds, and we were talking about Static Field, and I said, why would anyone ever buy Static Field? Like, how does Static Field make a team better, right? Because what does Static Field say? Everyone knows what the global does, which is pay a mask and target attacking character die is no longer attacking. But if you go to Static Field, it says it's a 2-cost basic action card. It says character dice deal only 1 combat damage this turn. So why would that be advantageous to you? Right? You have to play it on your own turn. So it's not going to help you against your opponent. So what is that? How is that going to work? So we said, hey, if you have a team that works with Static Field, let us know what it is. By the way, Nick, what's that team? Because he likes to build stuff. So interestingly, he said to me, as for Static Field, I think you already have your answer. Toss it on with Rare Angela for an infiltrate team. So the Rare Angela from Infinity Gauntlet gives all of your character dice infiltrate. he said, you can attack with everything and see how your opponent might block. If the KOs aren't in your favor, play static field, and now characters will likely survive the attack. Angela would need, for example, 3 or 4 blockers just to KO herself. You could pair it with some deadly characters, and then the KOs would still happen, but it would be in your own favor. He'd recommend tossing in Bobby Heenan to make them regret blocking, because I think he's referring to the Bobby Heenan that says when a character die blocks, you lose life.
Mm-hmm.
All right, is that what that one says?
I think so, something like that.
Bobby, hang on. Oh, I don't have this typed in. Here we go. Bobby Heenan, the Weasel, 2-cost mask. When fielded until the end of turn, for each die your opponent assigns to block, they lose 1 life. And that's per Bobby Heenan die fielded this turn. And then he said also a Supreme Intelligence to keep both Bobby and Static Field cycling to prep. You can always decide after blockers are declared to not infiltrate, and then not play your Static Field to keep your A up. It could really put the opponent into bad choices all around. The trick would be getting your sidekicks back. So perhaps something like a Lita, or anything that would give your sidekicks a 1 debuff, whether that's a global or a static buff. So yeah, so that was it's very straightforward, actually.
Now that you read it.
Now that I read it, now that it's put out to me in plain text, that this makes perfect sense with infiltrate. So yeah, that was the mailbag for this week.
Now you have to try that on your infiltrate team.
Maybe.
With your hashtag.
We're Spider-Man Forever.
There you
go. Yeah, that second basic action slot, the one that's not static field. Oh, actually, static field's already on that team, so I can already do it. I just have to buy it.
Yes. It's not expensive.
No, it's only 2. Yeah, I just never thought about it. So yeah, so from a mailbag perspective, that's everything we've got for this week, but we do have a couple of announcements for upcoming stuff. So Kim, do you want to run through some of the things that are happening in the Dicemasters online world?
Yes. So coming up, as Jocelyn mentioned, October 9th, 10th, 11th is Worlds. And that's happening online. Our CRGR folks are putting that on. I believe Friday's a side event, Saturday is the main event, and on Sunday I believe there's 2 side events. It is all weekend long. I believe the challenge is already up for it, so you can register.
And do we know what it costs, Kim?
Yes, I did click on it to see. I believe it's $8.
$8 US. Yeah.
It doesn't really say US in there, but I assume it's US. And that gets you into everything. So it's not per event, it's $8 for the entire weekend.
And do we know what that money is going towards, Kim?
I don't know. I'm going to guess helping with shipping probably, and
I can actually answer that question.
Prizes.
So it's going towards shipping of prizes, and then anything that's left over is going to be put in a donation for the next online event in the calendar that is going to be held by our friends over in Britain.
Dicemasters versus Cancer.
That's right. So Dicemasters vs. Cancer is a charity event being held online on November 28th. More information will follow on that event. What we can tell you is that it will not be straight modern. They're going to have some other type of theme or format. So it will not be hopefully not another Becky / Godtexture / Super Thorfest. It'll be something a little bit more creative. And again, the money for that, the entry fee is to be determined. It hasn't been announced yet. But the CRGR group has said that any money that they have left over after they do their shipping from their Worlds event is going to be donated to Dicemasters vs. Cancer.
That's awesome. That's great.
It is good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometime between Worlds and Dicemasters vs. Cancer on November 28th.
On October 24th.
Yeah.
We're going to be doing a Dice Social event.
Our very first ever Dice Social. So A Double Double and Dice presents a dice social. So I think we touched on this in our last episode, but the idea here is to focus on the social and maybe a little bit less on the dice, and have a little bit less competitive of a Dicemasters online event, where it's more about engaging with other folks and having a good time, and less on competitive teams. We will probably set up a theme for this one, Kim.
Yeah, I think so.
So more information to follow on that, but hopefully you can join us on October 24th at 2 p.m. We will post something a little closer to the time, the theme, that's 2 p.m. Eastern time. We'll post something on the theme, and watch for more information on our blog and on the Discord, and probably on Facebook for how to join that. Everyone is welcome at Dice Social. It's all about being a safe, friendly, and welcoming environment for all people who would like to join, and having some fun dice rolling times.
Exactly. So we'll hope to see you then. Probably, I think we'll make an announcement maybe on theme just after Worlds, because I know everybody's probably just thinking about that right now and building teams and stuff. So
yeah, so we'll get an announcement out on the interwebs after Worlds is complete, and then we'll reiterate it on our next podcast, which will be on October 19th.
A very special one, that is.
With a hashtag special guest?
Maybe.
I guess you'll have to tune in to find out.
Mm-hmm. And Jocelyn, anything else?
No, just maybe all the places you can find us. So let's run through that. So you can send us an email at tripledpodcast@dm-north.com. You can find us on our website, dm-north.com. We are on Facebook, and we are on Instagram at Dicemasters North. We're on Twitter, Dicemasters North, without the O, but if you search for us with the O, you can still find it. What else have we got? We've got twitch.tv/Dicemasters North for our videos, youtube.com/Dicemasters North for more videos. Lots of great ways to find us. You can send us messages on Discord. So if you're on the Discord, you can send us. Kim is Super K, and I am JBOUWME, J Balmy, and you can find us there to send us a message and share your thoughts, comments, suggestions. We'd love to hear what themes work for you. What themes you've tried and enjoyed, what formats you like, why global escalation is so exciting. Any of those things, please reach out and let us know. And I think that's all we've got. So until next time on A Double Double and Dice.